So the other day we were just talking about two commands. Today we have three different types. Two commands was in the past, and today we're doing usted, ustedes, and nosotros. The good thing about doing all three of them at once is that they are all very similar. And this is actually going to be a process that you've already learned how to do. And it says down here, start with the yo form of the present tense. Have you already learned how to form a command that starts in the yo form? Yes, you have. So this is good. We're still writing, aren't we? But the most important thing here is that we'll talk about it, but you got to go to that yo form. Okay? All right, so let's continue on. Actually, no, let's talk about something. An usted command. Who would you give an usted command to? To a teacher. That's a good thing, yes. What about an ustedes command? What does ustedes mean? Okay. A group of teachers. Who else?
A group of students.
Yes, a group of teachers, a group of students, a group of friends. Anytime that you need to make a plural command at people, like not including yourself, I use ustedes commands all the time in here. I say, abran los textos, saquen la tarea, all kinds of things. Levántense, which means stand up. I give ustedes commands all the time because that's the command that I need to use for a group of people. What about nosotros commands? What would be a nosotros command in English? Commanding yourself and other people. Let's, exactly. Let's do something like let's go to the movies this weekend. You just included yourself in that with your friends, okay? You know, that's different than saying you all go to the movies. If you want to include yourself, you say let's in English, okay? So we've got three different types of commands. Usted for a formal one person. Ustedes for plural, not including yourself, telling other people what to do. And nosotros for including yourself in the command, okay? Lots of useful commands today. Okay, for regular verbs, which how do you know if they're regular? You memorize. You're going to go to the O form, drop the O, and add the opposite vowel ending. So this is what we call our 3 steps, right? So if our present tense is, our infinitive is tirar, we're going to go to the yo form here. And here are 3 others that you want to pay attention to. I'm going to put them all up, and then I'm going to talk. Okay, so just like we did with our -2 commands, we are going step 1, yo form. Step 2, drop the O. So then we're going to get rid of these O's. And step 3, add the endings, which for a AR verb down here we see is going to be EN. Or for nosotros, hemos. And for usted, I went backwards, E. So tirar, an AR verb, is now going to have tire, tiren, or tiremos. That's all. It's its opposite vowel ending. Do what?
It's like a U form without an S. The 2 form without an S.
The two form without, yes, like what we just talked about last time. The negative two commands, yes. So I haven't filled it all out yet, but on this chart over here that we started on the whiteboard, usted, positive and negative, and ustedes, they are going to do the same thing as negative two commands, where we went to the O form, chopped the O, added the opposite vowel. It's just not going to have an S on it. It has an usted ending, A. Then it has ustedes, N. And nosotros, amos. That makes sense, right? It's following a pattern.
So are these positive commands?
These, the good thing, see how on our, it's got the no in parentheses?
That's the same thing for both?
It's the same for a positive and a negative, which makes your life so much easier because you just have to memorize one way to do these. And you throw a no in front of it and you're good to go. Either throw or don't throw. Do or don't do. Now, one thing I do want you to pay attention to up here is our verb elegir. We've got two things going on with it. It's a stem changer, so we had our E to I, and we also had to change, which I just wrote over it, so I need to erase around it so we can see. But we had our E to I, and we had our G had to change to a J. Did we talk about that last week briefly? I hope we did, because I wanted to. Why does the G change to a J? Because of the sound. A G-O sounds like in English, go, right? And we don't want a hard G sound. We need a soft G, which means we'll just change it to a J, and it'll be okay. All right. Any questions? Underneath the Doceri desktop trial, yeah, it's elija, elijan, elijamos. It's normal. Which one? A-M-O-S, because it's an IR verb. Okay. Probably have some use in sentences. Profesora, elija a un representante. No tiremos. Let's not litter en el parque. To say let's go, we can use vamos. To say let's not go, we use no vayamos. Those are irregulars, which is kind of crazy. So you can use vamos. Do you guys remember how in Dora, what does she always say? Come on. Vamonos. Okay, vamonos is another version. It's correct. But it's got another syllable on it. It's vamonos. And we'll talk about that later, but it's let's go with a say on the end of it. Change to nos. To say let's not go, this is the one that you do need to remember, no vayamos. Go ahead and write that down because that is an irregular. The no vayamos. And that's just for the nosotros command. Down here at the bottom, it reviews with you Kargar and Zar verbs. Kargar and Zar verbs are going to have their spelling changes just like you would expect. Organizar has a Z in it. However, when it's followed by an E, it needs to change to a C. So you would have organice for the usted, organicen as used here in the example, and organicemos again. So in all three forms, for the usted, ustedes, and nosotros, you will have those Z's changing to C's. You will have the G's going to GU, and the Z's going to C's. So Kargar Zar changes are going to happen as well. right. I think that is it, but I'm going to put up here a blank screen here for you. Okay, so the best way to memorize commands is by using the box that I have up there where you have a positive column and a negative column. Then you have room for the to commands, and then you have room for the usted, ustedes, and nosotros. Notice that those are all in one column because they are the same. So a lot of times what I have students do is draw one of these. You could put the rules in like I have done on the whiteboard up there, or you could just do a verb. Like, let's do decir. What is decir's positive to command? D. What is decir's negative to command? What's the yo form of decir? Digo. Chop the O, opposite vowel, no D. Gas. What about a positive usted command? Go to the yo form. Chop the O, opposite vowel. Diga. The negative is going to be the exact same. What about ustedes? No D. Gone. What about nosotros? Digamos. See how easy this is? All of those circled in blue, which kind of looks like black to you guys, those guys all follow the go to the yo form, chop the O, opposite vowel ending. This guy up here in the positive to command, he is the only one that does not do the opposite ending switches. Okay? So these down here in with diga and digamos, those are all easy to remember because you go to the yo form, they're all going to look similar. It's the one up here that really stands out, and you have to focus on that third person singular. Okay? Any questions on commands so far?
Is there an accent?
There is not. I'm sorry, I just didn't draw my circle very clearly there, did I? D does not have an accent. Okay. Let's get some practice in then.